Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a breakdown on what we've had so far for Modern Warfare 3. It's going to be my first video on the channel related solely to Modern Warfare 3, and I'm excited. A couple of things I'm hearing are really good. It's going to contain some things that have been confirmed, some things that have been rumored, and then some things that have just been leaked. There have been images or videos or clips of the alpha, and so yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing. So before we do get into that, I just want to say the gameplay you're watching here is a pretty decent gameplay. I think I dropped 32 and 11 on Mikado hardpoint, so it's a strong game. I'm using an AR. I'm playing the spawns really well. I'm playing the cuts really well. So even if you're not here for the MW3 intel, make sure you stick around because the gameplay is fire. The lobbies, I mean, I think I'm Crimson 2 at this point, so the lobbies aren't horrendous or sweaty or anything like that. They're just standard Crimson lobbies. But yeah, I do fry, so stick around. So why you're probably here is actually the Modern Warfare 3 leaks, and I'm going to be first going through the things they've confirmed, which I got to admit isn't an actual long list. But the thing they have confirmed and what they've actually said about themselves, I mean, when I say themselves, I mean Call of Duty has actually tweeted this. Modern Warfare 2 operators are going to be carrying over, including the other bundles, will be carrying over into Modern Warfare 3. So you're pretty sure it's just going to be almost like a Modern Warfare 2 extension at this point, which is quite good. If you spent a little bit of dosh on Modern Warfare 2, chances are you're going to be able to use those operators going into Modern Warfare 3, similar to how you do it on Warzone. So the Warzone cosmetics stick around as well. So it's going to be similar to that. So that's plus. On the same tweet, someone tweeted Call of Duty, or one of the Infinity Ward players, devs, sorry, is basically asking whether or not the some maps would be back, and they simply replied, some. So that's a little bit more of a confirmation that we are probably going to be seeing some maps return. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they extend on the map pool we've got currently, so whether we keep all of, like, a few of the maps on Modern Warfare 2, or whether they're just referring to old maps from other CODs. So yeah, that's interesting. And just as a side note, if you do want to comment on anything I do explain, feel free to drop it in the comments. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on these topics as well. If there's anything you think is good, anything you think is not a bad idea, like an awful addition, like why would they change it? Unfortunately, you get sticky bomb there in the gameplay. Tough times. But yeah, let me hear your feedback. And if there's anything you've heard around, or if lurking on the internet or on Reddit or something like that that I haven't mentioned, drop it down in the comments. Inform the community we've got here, and yeah, let's try not to miss anything out. So there's now things that aren't confirmed that I want to discuss. So when I say not confirmed, I have seen images online of screenshots, clips, videos of these things. They are somewhat reliable, and I think 99% chance that they will be in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 in 2023. So yeah, although they're not confirmed, I think there is a very high possibility of them actually coming into fruition. So yeah, I think this is a valid info. I do want to say as well that I'm not going to be putting any of the clips in the gameplay here because I don't want to get striked on YouTube. I could get my account banned, and I don't want that to happen. I like my YouTube account. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first thing I want to add is that they have sort of announced that Ninja is coming back as something you can have on your class permanently. It's not going to be a field upgrade anymore. You're going to be able to have quieter, maybe silent footsteps around the map as normal as part of your class. Now, they're not going to be coming back as a perk, which is why I've sort of stayed away from that word. It's not going to be coming back as a perk. Instead, they're going to be coming back towards gear. But before we get into gear, I just want to say bringing Ninja back is huge. It's important, and I think in order for Call of Duty to be competitive, they need to have a quiet footstep system so that people can't get away with free intel just using their ears, because I think that lowers a skill gap, in my opinion. But yeah, going into gear, which is what I've discussed already, gears are going to be what we're going to have instead of perks. Now, when I say gear, it's going to be a little bit similar to like Destiny, where you're going to get abilities based on what you choose to wear. So you're going to have a couple of sections. You're going to have vests, boots, and gloves. So they're going to be doing different things. So just to give you an example of a vest that I've seen an image of, and it's called the Gunner vest. Now, the Gunner vest allows you to have 2 primary weapons and full starting ammo. So it's going to be a little bit of a combination of Overkill and Scavenger Pro. So that's quite cool. So I imagine you're going to have other things such as, I don't know, Ghost will probably be in armor, and things like that. Vest, sorry, there'll be like a Ghost, a stealth vest or something like that. So things that affect the whole player will probably be under that vest section. On that, however, on the Gunner image I saw, in the Gunner vest image I saw, although you do get 2 primary weapons and full ammo off spawning in, you do unfortunately lose the ability to have a lethal or tactical. So there are a lot of pros to these vests, but there are also cons. So I think this is going to be really interesting to see how this actually splits the roles in the team. You're going to have to maybe have someone who runs as the gunner, who's not quite as necessarily caring about throwing attacks and stuns and trophies and things like that. And then probably you're going to have a different sort of... I think it's going to open up the window of allowing people to have roles. It's going to be like other competitive games you have, where you do have designated roles. And as far as competitive is concerned, I'm very interested to see how this plays out. I hope this is how it plays out. I think ARs will have a certain role. They're going to have... maybe they run a certain vest, a certain glove, a certain boot in order to play their role properly. And maybe you have someone who's the tactician, who's there to throw the nades, throw the stuns. You're there for someone who is there just to put out ammos. They have more ammos. They can wall bang. They can pre-fire. They can be that guy. And then you get the flank man who has the ninja, who has the ghost, who can flank around. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then obviously I mentioned gloves and boots as well. So gloves, I'll probably assume will have things like fast hand and in order to be able to fast reload. Fast ADS maybe might be under this, but I imagine that's going to be an attachment. And then boots will be things like lightweight, so you're going to be able to run faster, or double time will probably be boots. And then ninja, I imagine, will be under the boot section, so silent footsteps. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to spice it up a little bit. I don't see why they keep insisting on changing the perk system, in my opinion. I think they don't fix what isn't broken. I think perks have been absolutely fine in the years we've had previously. Maybe with wildcards, that isn't an awful thing. But generally speaking, I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I think it allows, as long as the perks are the right perks and they're in the right category, I think it'll allow for people to experience the competitive experience in Call of Duty. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, I don't see why they changed it, but I'm not too fussed into what they've changed it to. It's not like Modern Warfare 2 here, where you've got to wait for your perks to be a thing in the map. I don't like that at all. It's a bit shit, if I'm being honest. The next thing I want to add is that red dots on the minimap. So red dots on the minimap have been confirmed, sort of. I'm seeing a lot everywhere that they have been confirmed, but I do want to add that there were red dots in Vanguard. It just required a perk in order to use it. So I'm praying that there's not a specific vest you need to wear in order to see red dots on the minimap, similar to what the recon perk was on Vanguard. So I hope red dots on the minimap are just a standard thing everybody has, no matter what class they're running, because I think that's a vital part of Call of Duty, and it does separate it from the rest. I get that games like Halo don't have red dots on the minimap for shooting, but I think it's nice, it's necessary in COD, and it helps increase the movement. I think if people are sat camping and they're shooting a lot, on this game they can sort of get away with it because it's not really an easy way to locate them unless they get called out. However, with a game where there are red dots on the minimap, it does encourage people to move because they don't want to be in the same place where they've just been revealed by their shots on the minimap. So yeah, I think that'll increase movement. I think adding ninja to the game will increase the movement and increase the pace of the game, because I have found Modern Warfare 2 to be a very slow game. People aren't encouraged to move because it's just too many cons against it. So yeah, also, they have also said that there will be, as tested in the alpha, there's going to be faster movement speed. So I don't know whether this means just generally running speed or it means stray speeds, but generally speaking, movement speeds are going to be increased in this game, which is another plus for me. I love a fast movement COD. I love a faster movement dynamic. I think there needs to be a little bit of a skill gap in their movement just to separate people even more and spread the skill gap. But yeah, if that's the case, I'm happy with it. I'm happy for faster stray speeds. I'm happy for a little bit of a movement mechanic. Whatever they want to do, I'm happy with regards to that. Reload cancelling is also apparently no longer in Modern Warfare 3. So reload cancelling in this game is basically where, well, you can't do it in this game, but it's where you would start the reload, and in this game you have to finish the reload in its completeness in order to get the bullets in your magazine. Otherwise, it won't let you shoot your gun. Now, in older CODs, after you used to be able to, no matter how far through the reload you were able to YY or sprint cancel out of the reload so that you could get back into the gunfight. So I think that's huge. Again, another thing that's going to increase the gameplay speed, and it's going to be a little bit more fun to play. It was a silly addition for them to add it. I think it lent towards realism, but then they started adding all sorts of things that weren't realistic, and I think it just, what was the point? What was the point?
Oh, they still got fucking trophies, mate.
Another thing they've also said is that older maps will return, but we sort of covered that, but they were originally meant to come towards Modern Warfare 2, and there has been reports that this Modern Warfare 3 game is going to be like an amalgamation of all the missing ideas and maps they had from Modern Warfare 2 and Vanguard. So you're probably going to be seeing a lot of good stuff that they didn't get to include, maybe because sales weren't as good, coming into Modern Warfare 3. So that could be a good thing. And for those of you who love the war mode from World War 2, I believe it was, that's coming back. So war is basically where it was a big battle team game where you progress up the map in order to get the end objective. Super fun. Not a competitive game type, unfortunately, but for those guys who love pubs, who love that sort of longer game type, longer big battle game type, where there's an end objective and you got to progress through maps, it's hella fun. So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it. That's almost all of the leaks that I can think of. I haven't seen anything else, but as I say, if there is anything else that you guys know about that I have missed, let me know, because I don't know the whole of the internet, as you guys are going to be able to tell. So yeah, what do you think about the things I've released? What are the things I've said about? And if there's anything I missed, let me know. So I'm going to leave you guys to the gameplay. It's a very, very tight game. You only need 15 seconds left. And I don't know whether or not we win on this. I'm almost convinced that we must win on this. And that's it. Okay, there it is. GG, there's the dub. I hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed the intel. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
I went neg somehow. I don't know how.
You like that map, Harry, don't you? You got it on SD as well.
It's just holding cuts, mate. Plus 25.
If you're sat